Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker, and I don't normally delve into talking politics on this show. And just for the record, it's not something that I plan on doing in the future, but today I'm going to veer into that lane momentarily. This newly released book, Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, got me to thinking, what if someone wrote a book about me? How would I react to inflammatory accusations? What if someone were to allege in print that I didn't possess the mental fitness to host this show anymore? If someone wrote about me what was written about the president, that he, quote, can't go put one coherent sentence after another and, quote, can't stay on subject and can't stay on point, I would, if I could find the right words for whatever I was just talking about, I would totally address it. And I might even do it on Twitter, although I doubt that I would refer to myself as a very stable genius. It's far too easy to poke holes in that assertion. After all, I've publicly championed Justin Bieber for years, and while I don't regret it, it doesn't exactly smack of super intelligent. I'm just being objective and honest. And there I go, I've ruined it. So much for talking politics. Allow me to change the subject to Glittens. This ingenious combination of glove and mitten has been my saving grace the last couple of weeks. I suffer from the world's most frigid fingers anyway, and with the uncharacteristically cold weather we'd been experiencing, I was willing to try anything. And these beauties became the choice because they don't isolate the fingers individually. They help to maintain the heat that the fingers generate collectively, thus creating greater warmth. So why not just wear mittens, you ask? Ever try to pick something up wearing mittens? I mean, look at the incredible versatility offered by Glittens. Look how easy it is. Yes, you must expose the fingers temporarily, but you don't have to take your hand covering off completely. They've changed my life and allowed me to keep all 10 of my digits, and that's a win-win. Speaking of winning, my guests on today's show have experience with having done just that on some of the biggest stages high school athletes can encounter. All-world wrestler Aaron Brooks from North Hagerstown, fresh off a Hub Cup title-winning performance on Saturday, will be here later to talk about how he did it with just one good foot. Two guys with four great feet altogether, South Hagerstown track and field standouts Nate Moore and Andre Turay wait in the wings to discuss their exploits and aspirations. And I start with a couple rebel girls whose feet don't often fail them on the track. Emily Alexander and Sitta Sharif are here when you come back.
Champions are not merely born, they're forged in the crucible that is flag football. With equal parts turf, pigskin, and heart. That's why Buffalo Wild Wings donates to boys and girls clubs across the country to not only help thousands of kids learn about teamwork on and off the field, but to help them fulfill their destiny. To shred defensive lines, terrorize the secondary, and emerge bonded as true champions.
When you're sick or hurt and can't be seen by your regular doctor, you just want to feel better faster. Make a convenient appointment or simply walk into Meritus Urgent Care, where you can receive attention from our caring professionals, from sprains and strains to sore throats, earaches, and other ailments that are not life-threatening. Meritus Urgent Care has you covered with on-site labs and x-rays and much more. We're conveniently located on Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown at the Sylvania Center. Feel better faster with Meritus Urgent Care.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. Time for a little indoor track and field now, and it's all of the South Hagerstown variety today. A couple of very talented female runners join me now, Sitta Sharif and Emily Alexander. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Sitta, let me start with you because I see so much potential in you.
Thank you.
You know, you've started off this season so great. I think when I look at you and Emily, I see speed and then I see distance, and I think that's fair to say. And tell me, the 55-meter dash, is that your favorite event?
I mean, for indoor it is, but I like kind of like a longer distance, so
Like the
100. Yeah, the 100's definitely my favorite event.
Well, you do have a county title in the 100 outdoors. What adjustments do you have to make running the 55 versus the 100? I mean, obviously it's shorter, but how do you adjust to that?
Recently I've been making adjustments to my blocks. I used to start off with like a short setting, that could, that's what, I guess you start out when you're starting out in track with a short block
And you're talking like I have any idea about running some sort of a sprint event. Look at me. There's absolutely no way that I know anything about that. But you have to make some sort of an adjustment because you need to get out of the blocks faster from the very beginning.
And, me gaining speed, my blocks have changed. So I have to start with the medium setting now.
Now, at the Smithsburg Invitational, I believe you finished 4th overall. You didn't look terribly happy when the race was over. What was going through your mind?
I was really upset because, I guess like my motto is like, number one or, nothing. I always want to be, number one in all of my events, and I didn't place number one, so that kind of made me upset. And the way that I started off was really bad because I came out my blocks kind of like first, but I don't know what happened. It's just like everyone else started catching up, and I'm just like, ugh.
Everybody else is running too fast. They need to slow down and let you run a little bit faster so you're not spinning your wheels. But no, that's just the competitor in you. And in terms of placing well, I think the lady to your left sort of understands a little bit about that. Emily, we talked last year when you were just a sophomore here on the show about what a breakthrough year it seemed to be for you. And I see you wearing your cross-country shirt. So it's a question. Actually, last week when Dan Kaufman and I were talking about you behind your back, because you weren't here, I said to Dan, I wonder if for Emily it's cross-country or track that's her favorite. So that's my first question for you.
That's a hard one. I think I like both equally. They're different. So like cross-country, you've got like the 3-mile course, but like with track you have like different distances, so they're both different.
So you don't mind shortening up on the track then? I mean, you run the 800, the 1600, and the 3200. Is that a lot to do in one particular meet?
Oh yeah, in like one particular meet, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, how were you feeling after the 3200 last Friday?
A little tired last Friday because like Christmas break and everything sort of messed up my running schedule, and so it's just a bit tired.
But that's a lot to do no matter what. But you have been able to flourish seemingly in all 3 of those events. If it came down to one of those, which one would you prefer to run? If somebody said, hey, you can run just one, specialize in this one, which one would it be?
Probably the 3200. I feel like I'm better with like longer distances. Like I pace myself better because like the 800, it's more of a sprint, and I don't think that I'm very good at sprinting.
Well, maybe you need to work out with Sitta. She'll help you with that. Now, this time of under 12 minutes in the 3200, is that a special time? Is that a special mark?
Definitely. I tried to set that goal for myself last season, but I didn't quite make it. So to make it in the first race this season was pretty special.
Yeah. That just seems to stand out as something that certainly is one of those marks that, you sort of circle it and say, this is where I would like to be. Sitta, for you, do you think of any time in your head where you'd like to be before the season is over? Or, what are you shooting for there? How do you approach that?
The time that I kind of, I want to get to like a 7 flat, hopefully kind of getting over to the 6 area, high 6s. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But I think it's all like block starts. My running, sprinting is perfectly fine. It's just my block start I need to work on.
What's kind of pushing you?
The fact that, I can make it to states again. Yeah. Making the states my freshman year, that's kind of like what's motivating me. So the fact that, states is in my head, I can, run faster or fix the problem I need to fix.
Now we've got the county meet coming up a week from Friday. Emily, do you have any goals there for yourself? Obviously these meets come in a certain order. So before the season begins, do you sort of have in your mind some of the things that you'd like to accomplish before the season's over?
Probably just be near my PRs and place first in the mile and the 2 mile, which is going to be hard because it's probably one of the first times that I'm going to run the 1 mile and the 2 mile back to back in one meet.
Well, best of luck to both of you. Still a lot of running ahead for both of you in your young careers to this point, but it's great to get a little knowledge from two ladies on a program that certainly seems to be on the upswing, and certainly South Hagerstown lucky to have both of you. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll be back right after this with a couple of guys who are doing their thing at South Hagerstown. More indoor track in just a moment.
At Hamilton Nissan, we know you've got places to go, so let's travel together. The Nissan Rogue, plenty of room for you, and plenty of room for him. With nearly 40 cubic feet of cargo space, everyone will be using the Rogue for everything, all the time. And on occasion, you'll find an evening for yourselves, and the Nissan Rogue will be right there with you. Hamilton Nissan, let's travel together. Come see us on the Dual Highway.
At home, amid protest, questions were asked.
As the Vietnam debate raged, for those who fought,
From all walks of life, we went where our country told us to go.
And sometimes we had to say goodbye to friends.
the Joint Veterans Council of Washita County asks you to join with them and exercise the freedom of choice Vietnam vets helped ensure to honor their service and sacrifice with a monument in their honor.
Freedom is not free. Donate today to the Vietnam War Veterans Monument.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. We continue now with more indoor track and field, and joining me a couple of tremendous athletes from South Hagerstown, Andre Turay and Nate Moore. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Nate, let me start with you as a senior at South Hagerstown now. You've seen this team kind of come together over the last several years. Tell me about being a teammate and a leader now as a senior.
Well, honestly, like South High, we really pride ourselves on track and field and everything. And from when I was a freshman, I had really good leaders and everything. You see like Milan Fields, just people like that come through in and out. And I just lead by example a lot of times to them, you know.
And your performances sort of speak for themselves. High jumper extraordinaire, no question about it. And what's it mean to you to see your name atop the all-time county list, having cleared 6'10"?
Yeah. Sometimes kind of surreal because, like I said before, like I used to jump 4'8". Like a whole freshman season, I went 4'8". I no-heighted for a very long time, whole seasons.
How in the world did you stay motivated? And how have you become what you are now?
A funny story is I really didn't. I was a football guy since I was in like 4th grade. So honestly, I was gonna quit track and field and just pursue this full-time football. But my mom said we don't quit things. And my brother is a Division I athlete in track and field, got a scholarship at Howard University. So he kind of, it was really big with him for me to keep going, and I'm glad I did. I found a jumps coach. He kind of helped me out and took me. Now I went from 4'8", 5 foot, 5'6". I was like, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden I hit 5'10", 6'2", and sophomore year, then I just kept going from there, and here I am now.
Yeah, when that light bulb goes on and you see that improvement, boy, that means everything. Andre, you're just a junior, new to South Hagerstown, from Oakland Mills, where you won a 2A state title last year in the 55-meter hurdles. So as I was saying to you before we went on the air, it almost makes sense. Now you're in 3A with a chance to win a state title. What's going to be the biggest challenge for you now in 3A?
My biggest challenge is until championship starts is like trying to push myself every meet to run the best as I can, to keep winning, to keep fighting. Although there's not like the best competition until probably like states, I still have to find that push, and that's kind of like my biggest challenge, trying to find that push every meet.
How about coming right out of the blocks, very first meet this year with the time that you laid down? What was it, 7.59?
7.59.
Yeah, I mean, what's that make you think in terms of your potential for what you can do the rest of the season?
So coming out of the blocks, first meet, I was excited. I was wondering, I didn't really know what I was gonna run. I was aiming probably like 7.6 mid, because that was my last season PR. So I was aiming for my last season PR. Came out the blocks, I was feeling good. Every hurdle felt good. It felt like I was going fast. I finished, I was like that felt like 765. I walked around, came to results. I saw 759. I was like ecstatic. I was so happy. I was like, wow, I did that without spikes. Against not really a lot of competition, because I beat everybody almost by a whole second. So I was like, wow, if I could do it like without any competition, without any spikes, imagine what I could do like at states or something. So then I set my goal at like 7.4 is my goal this year. By the time states finishing, qualify for nationals, and move on from there.
Well, I look back to last year and I see the 3A state champion last year ran 7.27.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But he's graduated. The best time from last year, 7.70. Yeah. So certainly you are capable of getting that before all's said and done. Now, but how do you do this? I mean, mentally, and we talked about this a little bit before we went on the air, from the standpoint that, again, the competition is what helps push you, and there isn't competition necessarily at the level or the caliber where you are right now. So mentally, how do you grind it out and get to where you want to be?
I look at it as every race is an opportunity to get a scholarship. So that's so me and Nate talk about that all the time. Like,
that's pretty good motivation.
There might not be me and Nate talk about it all the time. There might not be like that like elite competition, but in my mind I know that this is what I'm trying to do to get a D1 full D1 scholarship. So I just find myself to run for that, and like just out the blocks, just straight attacking everything. Attack everything I do like it's my last. And that's my biggest motivation.
And Nate, you talked about being a football guy in the first place. Have things changed now from a priority standpoint going forward beyond high school?
Beyond high school, absolutely. The opportunity has presented itself for me to compete on a Division I level, and I'm grateful for that, obviously. But football, I'm the type of person where my focus is where I'm at. So when I'm in football season, I'm strictly football. When I'm in track season, I'm strictly track. And it turns out that the opportunity presented itself throughout like hard work and everything, and I'm gonna take it. So,
what's more important to you when a meet ends? The height that you've cleared, or whether you finish first?
Neither. To be totally real,
really,
I'm fanatical about like executing technique-wise, and when you execute technical, like high jump is a technical event, and if you're gonna like succeed at it at a high level, you definitely have to be kind of really focused on just like perfecting yourself. You can't get perfect, but like I try to like fall short to excellence. At state championships and everything, you always want to win and everything. You set those goals to national championship, all that stuff. But I'm trying to focus on technique and executing what my coach sets out for me to execute on. Getting better each meet, each day. And it's just another opportunity to really like improve myself.
And Andre, for you, how big is the team-oriented goal with accomplishing something collectively?
Yeah, so I came to South. I met Nate, met Gasu, and like other people, and I saw what he had, and I was like, you know what, we can make a good 4x1, 4x2. But I told him that like that it was gonna take a lot of hard work, because those people at like nationals, they work really hard. And right now we're running like the best times in like Washington County.
Yeah.
But it's not good enough. So I told him that like when championship comes around, regionals and states, we have to really push at PG with spikes on, with real competition, to hopefully qualify for nationals, place at states, and then move on from there to outdoor.
Well, the first step, a week from this Friday, the county championships. Boonesboro's won 5 in a row. So perhaps, here we go.
No, wait,
bulletin board material. Coach Freeman's probably not going to like that.
Yeah. Let's not air that part.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
I'm back right after this. Aaron Brooks is here to talk wrestling in just a moment.
Antietam Broadband's Flight Gigabit service is ultra high-speed internet delivered by a direct fiber connection. We are one of the few communities in the country to have it. But what does it mean? It means businesses will want to move here, which means more jobs, better jobs. It means access to world-class infrastructure for healthcare, education, and nonprofits. It means enhanced social and economic well-being. That's why it won the 2017 Leading Edge Award from the Chamber of Commerce. Flight Gigabit from Antietam Broadband, changing how people connect.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. We continue now with wrestling, and in particular, Hub Cup champion Aaron Brooks joins me now. Aaron, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Man, I'll tell you what, I know that your goal going into Hub Cup obviously was to come out with the championship at 182 pounds, but doing it with a broken foot in the championship finals. Tell me a little about that. How did all of this play out?
After the semifinals, I found out that I fractured my foot 3/4 of the way, and we sat in the trainer's room for a while, and I talked to a lot of people that are close to me. Some said, just sit, just chill, and some told me, it's up to you. If you want to go wrestle, you wrestle. And after thinking about it, it was probably my last home match in the Hub's gym, because after that match I'd be out for a while. And I figured I trusted enough in my style to where I knew that I could go out there and still protect it and still win. So, we taped it up. I did some practice rounds. There was like a break in between, so not a lot of people were in the gym. So I wrestled around with a teammate, and I told everybody it felt good, and I wanted to wrestle in the finals. So
it sort of just adds to your legend at North Hagerstown, to be quite honest with you. I mean, because we've gotten to the point where we just think to ourselves, if the guy had a cape on, he'd pretty much be Superman. and I know that you don't read your own press clippings, and you don't look at all of that stuff. But at the same time, this is just something else in the career that has been so outstanding for you. But you go out there then in the championship finals in that particular bout. I mean, what's going through your mind? Because you have your normal strategy and the way that you would do things, but you're having to favor this foot. So how do you approach that?
So I knew approach it like a normal match, but I knew that once I got into the match, I would have to change some things up. But, before the match, I was thinking, I could either, shy away from the leg or the foot and, make the match last, or, I can suck it up, step on it, make it quick. So that's what I wanted to do. When I stepped out there, I felt it. I was walking fine on it, and then as I got him in the first front headlock, and then I went for this one move, it's called inside trip, but I didn't want to, risk it, so I let him go, faked at his leg, and then eventually got a takedown. And after that, when I got on top, there was no pressure on my foot, so I knew I could just finish him there. So that's what I did.
90 seconds takes you to get the pin. Second Hub Cup title for you as an individual. Tell me about where you are right now, though, because obviously you have the foot injury. First of all, how long will this keep you out, do you think?
I'll be back. Well, I can come back probably about counties, but I'm not sure if I'll wrestle that yet, so we'll just see.
So we're looking more than likely at regionals?
Yeah.
Okay, so like February 23rd, 24th, somewhere in there right now. Now, you're ranked number 1 in the entire nation at 182 pounds. Does any of this stuff ever, do you just think to yourself, this is amazing where I am right now? I mean, do you ever like Google yourself or anything like that? I mean, so how much do you allow this to kind of sink in mentally?
I let it sink in to where it's rewarding, to where I know I'm headed on the right path. But then again, I stay humble to know that this is what I'm expecting to do. So I could say I don't really let it, get in my way, but I let it push me forward, and I just let it remind me that I'm doing the right thing, and it keeps me going.
Is it fair to say that you're pleased with where you are, but not satisfied?
Yeah, very pleased with where I am, very grateful, but like I said, I expect to do these things to get where I'm going, so satisfied, but still hungry.
What will your role be now that you are out as far as a teammate?
A teammate still and a coach. I think I'm going to do a lot of coaching. I can't physically get in the corner.
Right.
But, I can talk to the guys. I can motivate them. I can help them with words, because, wrestling is a physical sport, but it's also a lot mental. So if I can give them some of my mental intake, and our coaches can give them the physical intake, then be perfect. So that's my goal, just to keep motivating them and let them know they can still do things. So.
Pretty cool, interested spectator on hand on Saturday for the Hub Cup. Cale Sanderson, head coach at Penn State.
Yeah.
Any connection there with you and Penn State at this point in time?
I mean, yeah, it's a look. They're, one of my options. So I think he wanted to come out. It's not the first time he's seen me wrestle. Yeah, he's at the Lock Haven tournament as well.
Okay.
But yeah, he shows up. So.
Yeah. Let's go back to that Lock Haven tournament. Yeah. How much preparation went into you thinking that is something that you wanted to do, and then feeling that it's something that you could accomplish, getting all the way through and winning a title?
Yeah, I actually wasn't even going to do it. I don't know why, I forget, but my dad was like, I think you should do it because, in the regular season, it's your senior year, a lot of guys are going to bump away like we were talking about earlier. So he's like, I think you should go do it. And on the way there, I was calm. I was like, I just knew that if I just wrestled fine, I'd be fine. And, I'm warming up. I just knew that if I wrestled my style, I could beat all those guys. So I focused, stayed calm, and then beat them. But, I looked to win, but I knew that if I just wrestled how I wrestle, I'd be fine and we'll win. So
it seems to me that was a little bit of a different role for you, because so many times you're the favorite.
Yeah.
And going into that, you had to feel like you were a little bit of the underdog with absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah, that's that too. I think that's why pressure doesn't really get to me, but I think I also felt really not carefree, but I felt like as long as I go out there, like I feel with every tournament, as long as I go out there and do what I can do, then I'll be fine. So,
what's this ride been like for you? I mean, could you ever have imagined that it would be like this? I mean, Grand Marshal of the Mummers Parade, a world champion, beating college wrestlers in your senior year in high school. Can you put that into words a little bit?
It's been amazing, not just the wrestling, but the connects I've made with people, the things I've learned, and the person that's making me. So, I've learned a lot from it, and it's just grateful. I've learned so much from everything, and it's been really fun.
How awesome is it to you that there are so many people who are on your side? I mean, I've never heard anybody say anything about Aaron Brooks other than positive things.
It's it keeps you going. I mean, I was at this breakfast club, and a guy told me, he's like, some people love you, some people hate you, but you just gotta put it behind you and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if there's people, because there's always people that don't like you.
Well, I think that's the minority for sure.
Yeah, but
and we're not fans of them.
Yeah, but you just the people that are with you, you love them, you show love back, as they show love, and they support you. But the people that don't, you just keep going. You don't really pay them any mind.
Wow, I mean, it's a great attitude, man. You got a tremendous head on your shoulders, and congratulations on another Hub Cup title. And we look forward to seeing you back on the mat just as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing too. I saw you do some sort of like a handshake type thing. It was almost like a pinky type.
Yeah.
What is that exactly? Because I'm one of the worst guys at handshakes. I mean, all I ever want to do is the standard handshake. I don't understand like the bro hug or any of that stuff. But what's this pinky thing?
It's a bro handshake. We have there's one with So I have my wrestling team. There's my bros. We got one, and then my other friends, and some of them are on the wrestling team. So it's just 2 handshakes. One of them's with the pinky, then goes finger, and the other one's just finger. So.
Well, maybe you can school me on that after we finish the segment here. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here, Aaron, very much. Next week on the show, we didn't have any basketball, you might notice, conspicuous by its absence this week. Next week, there will be basketball on the show, but even before that, we've got a game coming up Friday night right here on WCL-TV, and Antietam Media Services presenting our first game of the season, girls action between St. James visiting St. Maria Goretti. That's a 6:45 start with the pregame show. Coach Barry Brown and I will have the call on that one, beginning with the pregame festivities. As for Inside Sports, again, thanks for watching this week. I'll see you back next week on The Inside.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the street.